Hello everyone, back tuning in to today's third and final video. So doing the 15th Christmas update for today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at the CFS V2 9-monthly forecast and see what it's showing for the Christmas period. So beginning sort of mid-December, going through the end of December to early mid-January, that sort of time frame. We can't pin down the weather exactly to Christmas Day at the moment. It's too far away still. So we're just looking for trends within the model. The broad trend from these updates so far generally been rather cold, dry and frosty around the Christmas period. We haven't had a very cold Christmas update yet, but the last one was probably the coldest one so far for the new year and early January period. That really did unleash some very cold easterly winds over New Year and into the beginning of January. That was the last update, the 14th update that we did a couple of nights ago. So we're getting ever closer towards Christmas coming into the GFS time frame. It's finishing at the moment on the 20th of December, so in around 5 days time Christmas Day will be into the time frame of the GFS. At that point we will begin the transition to the shorter range GFS. We'll run the CFS and the GFS in parallel for a while, and then we will discard the CFS altogether and we will go fully with the GFS and start pinning down some detail for the Christmas period. That will be around a week or so's time, I think, when we start doing that. But yeah, it's getting towards the time where we have to think about moving from the long range CFS to the shorter range GFS. Won't be long at all before we start doing that. But still got a couple of updates exclusive with the CFS, so we'll be going over to Metro Seal in a moment, see what it's showing. Just say that the Christmas shop is open, so you've got any Christmas shop to do at Amazon between now and Christmas. All you need to do is go to the Gaz Christmas shop page, and then from there you either use a search widget to search out whatever item you would like to buy for Christmas, or click through the Amazon banners, go directly to Amazon. And if you use the search widget, by the way, you will finish up at Amazon anyway, where you buy your Christmas presents. So however you do it, you're going to finish up at Amazon. You'll do your Christmas shopping there as normal. You're not doing anything different, just the fact that you go from Gaz, whether it's either from the search widget or from the banners, or through the banners, you go from Gaz service to Amazon. And because you do that, we get a revenue fee on the things that you purchase. So big thanks to everybody for doing that again this Christmas. You've still got plenty of time, of course, to get Christmas presents in. It's only the 4th of December, so plenty of time still left to do that. But a big thank you to everybody for doing that. Right, so move over to metroseal.fr and have a look at the CFS V2 9-monthly forecast. So it was generated midday yesterday, 3rd of December. We always use the same run all the time if we can. And then we can't be told off for any particular outcome turning up. This is purely the way the charts are appearing as we're doing the video with a midday CFS run. It's run 4 times a day, but we always choose a midday run for no particular reason other than that's the one that we always pick out. So midday yesterday, 3rd of December, this run was generated. CFS V2 9-monthly forecast at metroseal.fr. And we're on the 11th of December here as we begin. So we've got low pressure out to our west, so we're bringing in a rather cool and showery westerly flow. Let's see what happens. So run through to the 12th. This is general election day, of course. And rather showery across the country, a little bit on the cold side of the north too. Certainly cold enough for wintry showers up in the north. We're heading into the middle of December. That low pressure moves away. We get a bit of a ridge of high pressure building over and slightly towards Scandinavia as well. It's certainly having a go at turning the wind into the east there by the 15th of December. We are bringing in a gentle and probably quite cold easterly winds, so maybe a few wintry flurries there on the east coast as this ridge is building up over Scandinavia through the middle part of December. Heading into the second half of the month, nothing really comes of that Scandinavian high though, so we're returning back into west-southwest winds as the ridge is retreating back to western part of Russia, and low pressure is beginning to drive back in from the Atlantic here as we get towards the 18th of December, so it's starting to turn more unsettled once again. Right, moving up towards Christmas, this is how we're looking. 20th of December, big area of low pressure forming in the North Atlantic. That's bringing heavy rain and gale force winds across many parts of the country. That looks rather stormy, I have to say, there as we're going from the 21st through to 22nd of December. Low pressure bringing heavy outbreaks of rain probably. And for the north, a little bit on the cold side as well. We are, you'll notice, trying to raise the heights over Scandinavia again. We're at around 1,025 millibars. That's just been to tilt the wind round into the east a little bit across far north Scotland, so it could be kind of a bit of snow there. Otherwise, it's just rain again that's driving in off the Atlantic there. Right, let's move up towards Christmas, and this is how things look on the eve of Christmas Eve, which is 23rd of December. Low pressure sitting in the North Sea. Rather cold, showery winds rotating around that area of low pressure. Probably kind of a wintry showers up in the north. Definitely a seasonable feel. So that's Christmas Eve itself, and still looking quite cold really. Low pressure as a shallow trough sitting over the country. I would have thought probably still kind of wintry showers up in the north. Otherwise, a fair amount of dry weather probably down in the south. Would be cold, and I expect there would be some quite hard overnight frost. Notice this area of low pressure developing in the Atlantic, though. That looks rather ominous for Christmas Day. Let's see what happens with that low. So we move into Christmas Day, and yes, that low is doing what you'd expect it to do, and it's heading our way. So this is Christmas Day, and we've got a band of heavy rain moving in off the Atlantic, and probably showers following along behind. It's pretty windy. The air is quite cold, so as that rain moves into the cold air, certainly for Scotland, you would think there's a possibility of some snow, but otherwise it would just be outbreaks of rain spreading across the country on a very cold and miserable sort of Christmas Day, and a strong wind following along behind that band of rain. So a proper wet and windy Christmas Day showing up there. Wet and windy Christmas night too, with showers along with spells of rain continuing. And that's Boxing Day, and low pressure continues to be in control. We're into more of a showery type scenario with that. So a case of showers, or perhaps some longer spells of rain. We could see, we will probably see the showers banding together there. Very unsettled Christmas, this one, breaking that trend of mainly dry, cold Christmases that we have through many of these updates. Moving into the Christmas to New Year period, we take the low pressure away to the east. We try and build up a little bit of high pressure, but nothing really coming of that. The next low is heading in from off the Atlantic. This one's taking more of a southerly track, though. The jet stream is generally to our south. This is quite a chilly Christmas. You're probably seeing these areas of low pressure rolling in from the Atlantic and thinking this is a mild Christmas. It's not particularly mild at all. In fact, for northern areas, it's probably quite a cold Christmas. The jet stream is down here somewhere, heading in towards Biscay, the Bay of Biscay. And so we're on the cold side of the jet stream. These areas of low pressure, while I say are mainly bringing rain to the south, they could certainly be bringing wintry conditions at times to the north. And here on the 29th of December, we've got quite a bit of rain in the south, we would have thought, but anywhere further north of Wales and the Midlands, and you're probably going to be talking about snow on the northern edge of that area of low pressure. That low sort of moves across England and Wales. Again, on the northern side of the low, I suspect there would be snow. So a little bit of a wintry flavour to the weather there, heading up towards the new year. This is New Year's Eve. Another low is going on a southerly track. You can see that again. So once more, on the northern side of that low, you wouldn't rule out the chance of some snow. It's not a desperately cold situation, but it's a marginal situation that would deliver rain to the south, but on the northern side of the lows, there would be pretty cold air and probably enough for some marginal wet snowfalls, if anything. So perhaps another little bit of snow there on New Year's Eve. That's New Year's Day. The first day, 2020, looks unsettled with low pressure sort of sitting over the country. Rather cold, showery conditions rotating around that area of low pressure in the north. Probably cold enough for some snow up there as well. let's run through the first week or two of January. So we find that to get through towards the 2nd, 3rd of January, we begin to take these areas of low pressure away. We're starting to try and build up some high pressure to our northwest. So this is trying to get us into a genuinely cold scenario in the new year. We're trying to pull in much colder northeasterly winds as these areas of low pressure begin to sink away to our south. We've got heights rising over Greenland and over Scandinavia. This looks like it's going to try and set up a very cold pattern. Will anything come of it? Let's have a look and see what happens. Well, as we go through to the 6th, so we're beyond 12th night to the 7th, we begin to lower the heights again. So the heights only raise a little bit, and then they start to deflate quite quickly. So by the time we get through to the 9th of January, we're unleashing the Atlantic, more low pressure rolling in. Looked like we were going to set up a really cold pattern there, but it just didn't quite come off. And as we go further on into January, we just keep these areas of low pressure rolling in from off the Atlantic. But again, it's a cold sort of variety of low pressure. There's no sign of anything very mild at all here on any of these charts, really, from beginning to end. So always quite cold enough for snow at times in the north, and in the south just lots of cold rain probably, but even there a little bit of snowfall is possible. I mean, we're up to 21st of January, and look, we've got low pressure over northern France. So again, on the northern side of that low, although the areas are particularly cold, it's probably cold enough for snow there across many parts of the country. It's that kind of pattern, very marginal, but on the northern side of the lows, whenever they're diving southwards, probably the chance of snow on the northern side of the areas of low pressure. And of course, where the divide is between rain and snow would have to be determined much closer to the time frame. We actually finish up by 24th of January under an area of high pressure, bringing dry, frosty and cold conditions, and we won't go any further than that. So this is a very unsettled update again, this 15th Christmas update. Very unsettled, not only before Christmas, but also over Christmas and after Christmas as well into the new year. Quite cold, unsettled conditions though. Nothing particularly mild showing up there from beginning to end. Cold enough for snow at times in the north, and maybe occasionally if the lows die southwards, far enough southwards, occasionally at times cold enough for snow even in the south too. Christmas itself, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, looking very unsettled and quite cold on this update, with rain in the south and probably cold enough for a bit of snow up in the north. So we shall see what the 16th update has to say, and we're going to do that on Friday. 16th update will be on Friday, and I say very shortly we will start to begin the transition. It won't be an immediate switch over, but we will start to run them in parallel for a little while, these CFS, but also the short range GFS. That will begin in 2 or 3 updates time, I would have thought. Right, so that's it for now though. 16th quiz update will come up on Friday. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.